Hello, this video is made for judges and this is going to help them make their decisions ADA compliant. There's certain requirements for documents to meet ADA compliance. So I will lead you through how to make your decisions more compliant. First, I'm going to explain what constitutes an ADA compliant document, and then I'm going to show you how to make your decisions ADA compliant, like how to adjust the title and font, and how to make your tables fit the compliance requirements. So first, the first thing that makes a document ADA compliant is it needs to have a title. And when I say it needs to have a title, it's not like at the top of the page it has to have the word like decision or anything like that. But the metadata of the document needs to have a title. The font is always going to be a sans serif font, and Arial meets that requirement. So I know a lot of folks already do their decisions in Arial, so keep doing that. The minimum font size should be 12 point. Now I know some decisions they do their headings in 12 point font Arial, but then they do the body in 11. So we'll just need to up the body of the decision to be 12 point Arial instead of just 11 point Arial. Another thing is the font should always be black. We don't have a problem with that at all. And the document should, background should be white. And again, I haven't seen any decisions that were done in colors on any other background besides white. So we're always good there. And then I'm going to show you how to insert photos, charts, and tables into the decision so that they meet the ADA requirements of being inline and having alt text. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is how to add that title in ADA. So here are the directions, and I'm going to make this particular PowerPoint available to judges so that they can have them as a reference. So I'm just going to bring up a document and I'm going to click through it and show you how it's done physically. So here I have a document, a Word document, and it's my decision. And what I want to do is make this, give this a title. So I'm going to click on the word file up here in the upper left hand corner. And it's going to bring me the info on a document. And over here on the right hand side, you're going to see a list of properties for the document. And you're going to see the word properties right here that has a downward facing arrow. So click on that downward facing arrow. It's going to say advanced properties. So click on that. And then the first thing that should come up is the summary tab. And the very first field says title. Now you can put whatever title you like in there, but usually I know the judges like to put the case number and then DF, or I guess you guys don't do covers anymore, but DF or whatever letters you need to put in there. So you can put your title right in there, and then you just hit OK. And now your document has a title. It's that easy. So in case you can't remember, this slide will help you figure that out, the properties, and then that box that pops up. And then the next thing is the font. In case you don't know how to change the font, it's found in the upper left hand corner of Word. You can find the name of the font here and then the size. And then to change the color, if you ever needed to do that, I don't think you would have to, but it's this icon right here. One thing I do want to show you that's not going to be, this is going to be extra added for those who view the video, but if you want to make your Word program default automatically to Arial 12 point, let me show you how to do that. What you're going to do is go into your font category up here, and there's like a little arrow down here that will open up a font window. You're going to pick Arial and you're going to say 12 points. And then down here in the bottom, you're going to pick font style regular, size 12. All of this stuff you won't have to worry about. And then in the bottom left hand corner it says set as a default. So when you click that, it's going to ask you, do you want to do this document or do you want to do all your documents in the future for this? That doesn't mean you can't ever change your font. It just means it starts you off right away in the right font that you want. So I'm going to say from now on, whenever I open a Word document, just start it off in Arial 12. So another nice thing that happens here is, even though I said do it for all the documents that I do from now on, it will also do it for my current document. So now what used to be 11 is now 12 font. All right. So that is the font and the color. Now let's talk about getting a table into your decision. I know a lot of judges use tables when they write their decisions, and there's a bunch of stuff that has to go on. The first thing we want to do is caption the table. So in the directions here it says in the ribbon selects the reference tab, then select insert caption. So, and then you're going to get a pop-up window, and then you're going to label the text box and select table. So let's just go ahead and do that live. So here we go in the table. You're going to, let me cheat and look at my notes here. In the ribbon, select reference tab and insert caption. So we're going to go to, we're going to select our table. We're going to go to references, and we're going to go to insert caption, which is this one right here. And we're going to have this box that pops up, and it's going to ask you to do a caption. It already fills in table 1, and that should be fine if you want to leave it like that, or you can change it and add some more information if you want. It's completely optional. And then the next thing in my instructions says what? In the pop-up window, type up the title, which we did, and in the label text box, select table and then select OK. And I think that was already done. So we're going to choose this. We're going to insert caption in the label box. That's this one. Select table. It's already selected. I don't know what other things you can. Oh, I see. So you can pick table, and then you can hit OK. Now you're done. You have I did it twice, so I have to erase that other one. Now you have your table captioned. So check mark on that one. The next thing you need to do is identify your header row in the table. So you're going to select the top row, your header row. You're going to right click and choose Table Properties, and then in the pop-up window you're going to select repeat the header row on the top of each page. What that's going to do is, if your table is huge and it breaks across pages, it's going to make sure to repeat that header row on the next page, so that you don't have like this just dangling set of numbers in a table. So let's go ahead and practice that. So I am going to go into my table here. Let me cheat. Select the top row because we're identifying the header row. So we're going to select the top row. We're going to right click and choose Table Properties. You can tell I do this all the time. So here I am. I right clicked on this top row, Table Properties, and I get this pop up. So the next thing I want to do is hang on. Choose repeat, select the row tab and repeat the header row. So right click, Table Properties, select the row tab, that's this one, and repeat as a header row on the top of each page. And you also want to allow it to break across pages. So we're going to say OK. And that pretty much identifies the header row. Next, you're going to want to make sure that your table doesn't spread out too wide. So we're going to right click on the entire table, choose Table Properties again, and then we're going to select the row tab and uncheck Allow Rows to Break Across Pages. So here we go. We're going to select the entire table. We're going to right click Table Properties in the row repeat as a header. We are that allow row to break across pages. We're going to uncheck that. Okay, so that is done. And then we have to get an alt tag description on there. So again, we're going to click on the table, We're going to right click in the pop-up window. We're going to pick alt text and type a description. So right click on my table, table properties, under alt text, we're going to give it a title, whatever we want, important data regarding claimant income. Contains claimant's income for January through March 2020. So fill in the title and the description. And what that's going to do is if you have a claimant or whoever's reading this decision and they're using a reader from a PDF reader and it's reading it, it can say what the table is and then read out the data to the person. All right, so alt tag description is finished. Now, things that you need to avoid when you're doing a table. Don't use the drawing tool. Do a insert table. And how do you do that? Let me show you that. So if you wanted to insert a table into your decision, you can use the insert here up at the top and then table, and then you can pick how long you want it to be and how many rows you need, and that is the best way to put a table in there instead of drawing it in. I think most people do the insert table, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for most folks, but make sure you use that insert table feature. Do not create page layouts with tables, so that's also going to be pretty easy for us to avoid because we already have a template for decisions, so you won't have to worry about page layout. Sometimes people do the merge or split cells when they're doing their tables. Try to avoid those because it's very difficult for the reader to figure that out. If you need to split a cell for some reason, it would probably be best to just do 2 columns or 2 rows and be very clear about what data is in there. And don't control any of your spacing with blinking rows or columns. And I don't think any judges do any blinking rows or columns. So I guess that's for people who are doing documents that are flashy. So those are the things to avoid when doing the tables. I think you guys are going to be fine. I don't think you do anything like that. But sometimes I know that you'll need to add some sort of a photo or a picture in your decision. So let's talk about how you add a picture and make that ADA compliant. So here I have my decision, and let me undo that table that I put in there, and instead of putting in a table, I think I want to put in a picture. So I'm going to do an insert picture, and I'm going to pick let's see, this picture. And ooh, that's really big. Let me make it smaller. And of course you want to put it in the middle, so let me put it in the middle. And then you notice on this picture there's this little box that pops up in the upper right hand corner. That little box tells you how that picture is formatted in your document. Right now it's in line with text already. Mostly when you add a picture, it's going to put it in the right in that in line with text. But if you click on that box, it'll tell you right there, in line with text. That's what you have. That's what you want. The wrapping, this one's fine. Anything where it's in line, but if it's in between, behind, or in front of the text, you don't want that. You want in line with text. That's going to make it easy for the readers to, the automatic readers to say, oh, there's a photo here, and then go on with the next word. If you use any of that other kind of wrapping, you might have a problem with the reader getting confused and saying there's a picture here in the very middle of a sentence, and you don't want that to happen. So you choose in line with text. We're good here. The other thing you want to do when you have a photo in your document is do a right click on the photo and slide down to where it says Edit Alt Text. What that's going to do is it's going to pop up a alt text box on the right hand side of your screen, and it's going to have a box that says how would you describe this picture. So there is also a little button here where you can have the computer generate a description for you, and it will do that if you click on it. And it says it's a drawing of a face, and this description automatically generated with medium confidence. So it's not really confidence. This is not a drawing of a face, so I'm going to change that and say this is a thumbs up. Thank you. And then that's it. That's how you put in an alt text for a photo. So now when a reader, an ADA reader is doing this document, it'll read all this out. Claimant shall be sent a letter confirming the withdrawal. The letter shall serve as the written withdrawal. Photo of thumbs up, thank you. And then it'll go on to the next paragraph. Okay, so I believe that concludes my tutorial, yes it does, on how to make your decisions more ADA compliant. And if you would like a copy of this this PowerPoint, I will be happy to share that with you. This is Ashley Lucas. You guys all know my email address. You can also email the ACMS team at acms@dss.ca.gov, and we will help you and share this PowerPoint with you. We are also going to be changing the decision cover page that is automatically generated with the decisions you write, so that it doesn't have all those boxes in there. So don't be surprised if you go in and look at one of your decisions and you see a totally new and exciting cover page that is more ADA compliant. Thank you for viewing this video. Again, this is Ashley Lucas, ACMS team. Bye.